Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here. And today it is time for a whip and chat. So I hope you got something out to work with me. Today I will be working in my Halloween book by Alina Lazariva. I'm sorry. Lazariva. I keep saying her name wrong. So sorry. But we're going to work in our Halloween book today, and we're going to work on this Sugar Skull woman. Isn't she gorgeous? I am also going to be using my Prismacolor Premier 150 set color pencils. Now, I have been and I still am completely obsessed with markers. I have learned that markers is my jam. I love markers. Not saying that I don't love color pencils, but I love markers. Markers is my go-to. So I need to practice some more with my color pencils. So hopefully you guys don't mind if I practice with you. So we're going to pick out some colors first. I want this flower in her hair. Even though it's a Halloween color, I want to see like an orangey yellow flower. So we're going to do these two colors. And I don't use Prismacolor too much. And I'm learning that every medium has its learning curve. So I would like to learn. So I have a light and a dark color, and I need to get a lighter color too, just for an accent, you know. So we're going to use these three. We're going to use canary yellow, sunburst yellow, and then goldenrod. So those are my three for this flower in her hair. So hopefully, again, you got something to work with me. I will link, and if you haven't noticed or haven't seen, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen, I have recently become an influencer with Amazon. Thank you, Becky's Madness for Crafting, because she kept bugging me to do it. The problem was I had already done it once and they told me no. And I was just like, oh, well, okay. But that was back when I was like less than 1,000 subscribers. I tried doing it and they were like, yeah, no. But now that I'm over 1,000 subscribers, I tried it again the other day and they said yes. So every day I'm adding stuff to the list. So right now I have 3 categories: crocheting, diamond painting, and coloring. And just a heads up, if you buy something using that influencer link, I will get a small commission. Thank you in advance if you choose to use the link. With that said, let's shut up and get to crafting, shall we? Now, how was your weekend? I had a pretty okay weekend. We don't tend to do a whole lot on the weekends here, mainly because of the fact that we do so much throughout the week that we tend to just veg out on the weekends. And it's just usually Mr. Coffee. He's had a long week at work, so he's relaxing, doing his thing. He was doing some science experiments with Orion this weekend. Jen Hearn, one of my subscribers, sent out this really cool crystal lamp, but you have to make the crystals. And at first I was just like, oh, a lamp, cool. Orion, you know, he's not scared of the dark, but he does like having like a little bit of light in his room, so this would be cool. I didn't realize that you had to make the crystals, so I go to open the box and I'm like, science, science. And he goes, oop, I'm on it. So Mr. Coffee and Orion will be doing that, or they already did it. Essentially, I guess today when he gets home, they're going to finish it up and we'll take a picture of it and I'll put it in the group because I'm pretty sure she's in my group. So yeah, and I'm just lightly going over these dark spots with a darker color and we'll blend them together here. But yeah, so they did a science experiment. If you didn't know or haven't seen, I don't think I've put up any pictures yet, so you probably don't know. Maggie lost another tooth. So Friday was Read to Your Child Day at school. Now, you guys know, if you were in my live, Friday wasn't the best day for me. We woke up late. The kids were half an hour late to school. I had a bunch of housework that I had to get done. And I hate those days that you're always feeling like you're rushing around. Like, I hate the days where I have so much to do. The good thing is I got a lot done. One of the things I wanted to do was send off a package to my good friend Kelly Head. If you don't know who Kelly Head is the young lady that makes the junk bags. I wanted to find a way to thank her for, you know, her continued support of my channel. Her and I have been friends since, like, I was just a little tuber, even though that wasn't really that long ago. But her and I have been friends since I was a little tuber, and she's always been super supportive of my channel. And I promised her I would send her out something, and I finally got it out in the mail. Just know, you guys, if I say I'm going to send you out something and it takes me a while, I will send it out. Like again, I said, it does take me a while sometimes, just because there are days where I just don't have to leave the house and I don't want to go all the way across town. And I try to check the PO box at least once a week, and that would be my day to go to the post office. So if I remember that I owe someone a package or something, I will usually send it out on that day. But yeah, I got to send out her package and a jacket that I got from Fingerhut. Fingerhut's like an online store that you can buy like severely overpriced items to help build your credit. And Mr. Coffee wants to build his credit up a little bit, so he decided to get a Fingerhut account. And I've never had a winter jacket, so he decided to buy me a winter jacket with it. And then we figured, he'll buy the winter jacket, pay off the minimum balance, boom, build his credit. The sad part is jacket, we can easily just pay it off, but he wants to build his credit, so who am I to tell him no? So yeah, so Mr. Coffee and little Orion did the little lamp thing this weekend, and they had a lot of fun. And then Orion and Maggie did a lot of playing. Didn't go outside much. It was severely windy out again. And when they had the thing at the school, I kind of got into it with a gentleman at the school, and it wasn't fun for anyone. Luckily, it wasn't in front of the kids or anything, so before somebody starts freaking out. If you want to hear that story, I told that story in my live, so I don't want to tell it again, because a lot of the people that watch my Wip and Chats watch my live, so there's no need to tell the story all over again. So yeah, so Friday was a little bit hectic for us, and I get into the school to go read to the kids, and of course I have 2 kids at the school, so I can't read to both of them at the same time. So usually what they let you do is take one child out of the classroom to take to another classroom. So I took Orion out of his class and brought him over to Maggie's class, which drives him nuts, because then he has all the little girls in Maggie's class like pawing over him, and like Maggie's best friend Gabby loves messing with Orion, and it drives him nuts because he already gets driven nuts by Maggie, so now here's her little friends driving him nuts. And I just think it's the cutest thing, but he gets so annoyed with it. It's just a boy thing, I guess. But I go into Maggie's classroom and she smiles at me. Maggie at this point is an in real life jack-o'-lantern. Like, she's missing her 2 front teeth and then the tooth right beside her two bottom teeth. So essentially she literally looks like a human jack-o'-lantern. And I'm like, Maggie, what happened? She had this little necklace on. And she's like, Mommy, look. And I was like, what happened? And she goes, my tooth came out, Mommy. And I'm like, I can see. Now, she has been wiggling this tooth in my face. Now, I'm not sure if I'm the only parent like this. And I feel like a bad parent being like this, but I can't help it. It's disgusting. But I don't like when the kids get wiggly teeth. That is not my jam. I can't handle it. I freak out. No, 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 no. That's supposed to stay in your body, not come out of your body. I don't like it. Leave me alone. Get away from me with it. And we're going to blend this color in with this yellow so it's not so bright. There we go. So I'm sitting there and she's showing me the loose tooth, and she had a substitute that day, and her substitute's just like, oh, hi, Miss Tepper. Yeah, she lost a little tooth, and they have these little necklaces that they give the kids. It looks like a tooth, like a little container to put the tooth in, and then they tie it around the kid's neck, and it's a long necklace, so it's not like they're choking them to death or anything. But they put it around the kid's neck so that they can take the tooth home. The problem is the tooth fairy at my house is lazy sack of crap. Because we always forget to take the tooth. I don't forget. I don't want to touch it. I don't care that it's in a container or a Ziploc bag or what. I don't want to touch it. That's a bone that fell out of your face. I don't want to touch that. And so like I freak out a little bit every time the kids lose a tooth, and Mr. Coffee just kind of sits there and looks at me. He's just like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, yeah, don't want to touch that. Well, she lost a tooth at school. We come home that afternoon and she's all happy because they get to go home early on the days that I go read to them. That's another reason why they get so happy. So we come home and they eat snack, and she had been complaining about that tooth in her mouth for at least a week, but she won't let you pull it. And I'm like sitting here, we're sitting there going like, should we just hold her down and take it? Because every time she would go to eat dinner or something, she'd be like, I can't eat, my tooth hurts. So I'm like, I will hold her down if you pull the tooth. And we're sitting there arguing over, whether we should hold her down and if that's going to stress her out and maybe trigger a seizure or something. We don't want to trigger them, even though she's been doing so well. Like, we don't want to be sitting here triggering her seizures. So we're sitting here, like, I guess it wouldn't be arguing. We're debating what to do just so she can eat her dinner, because she's using it as an excuse to not eat her dinner. She will say she's starving, but then the moment you would go to try to pull the tooth, she's like, no, don't take it, it's mine. I don't know. Minna wasn't like that. Minna would just sit there and let you pull it, and then she'd move on with her life. Maggie is like the biggest drama queen. Academy Award goes to, like, I feel like I should get her a trophy, and every time she like gets all extra, it'd be like, Academy Award goes to, here's your reward. I can't with Maggie. Maggie's a hot mess. But yeah, so she lost her tooth Friday, and that went, pretty good at school, I guess, because Maggie tries to act straight gangsta at school. Let that have been at home. Like, over the summer, she lost a tooth in the car with me and Minna on our way to Starbucks, of course. Of course, because, where else would Minna want to go when she's here besides Starbucks? But she lost her tooth in the car, but she ended up swallowing it because she was eating a cake pop. And apparently she swallowed it. And she got scared. And I didn't know it was going to scare her. But I told her, I was like, well, I guess now your tooth is going to bite your butt on the way out. And she freaked out. I felt so bad. I didn't mean to freak her out. It's just something my dad used to always say. You're like, did anybody else say that to their kids? I guess your tooth is going to bite your butt when you poop it out. Like, I just thought she'd be like, ew, that's gross. Because that's normally what she would say. Just ew, that's gross. But she like freaked out, and she came home and she was crying to Mr. Coffee. And Mommy says my tooth is going to bite my butt. And now I don't want to go poop. I'm not even joking. I don't think she pooped for like 3 days. I was like, if you don't, at some point, like, she kept saying her stomach hurt on day 3. And I'm like, at some point you're going to have to poop, or we're going to take you to the doctor and he'll make you poop. And she's like, with a shot? I'm like, I don't know how they make you poop at the hospital. I don't know their business. So, she's fine now. Obviously, she knew that her tooth isn't going to bite her butt, but she still had that fear. So she made sure when she said when her tooth came out, she spit it out on the table. And I'm like, well, that's gross. Yeah, her teacher was just like, oh yeah, they were in the middle of snack and she just spit something out on the table. And before I could tell her not to spit, I saw what it was. And I was like, again, that's gross. I don't, ew. So that happened. Orion's teacher says he's still doing really well with his reading. He got to go to the academy on Friday. He goes to the academy every Friday or the last day of the week. So this week he'll go Wednesday instead of Friday, because Wednesday's their last day this week. He really, really likes it, you guys. I'm so happy that he found this little program. I'm also happy that he doesn't have to leave school to go to said program, because Maggie would be lost without her big brother there with her. At some point, obviously, we're going to have to, let her know that he can't stay there with her forever. But for right now, let her have that peace of knowing her big brother is there, because she was getting bullied at school, apparently, I found out also last week. And Mama don't play with bullies. So Mommy had to have a talk with the school. And I think that was Wednesday or Thursday last week. I talked to the school about it, and she hasn't had an incident since. So, apparently me going and talking to the school about it worked, because some little boy kept pushing her into a fence at recess. And he was a 4th grader. And I'm like, why is he pushing you? And of course I'm asking her, because I'm thinking she done went up to him and said something. And she told me, I told her she can't hit boys, so she didn't hit the little boy. And I'm like, well, yeah, you can't just go hit people for no reason. And Orion's like, well, he was pushing her and I pushed him. Apparently, Orion went to go push him, the little boy, to get him to stop pushing Maggie. And Orion got caught pushing the little boy and got in trouble. So, of course, I had to address that as well, because apparently he tried telling the teacher that the little boy was pushing Maggie, and the teacher ignored him. Yeah, that don't fly. So mommy had the little talk with them, and they seem to be straight now. They seem to be okay. So she hasn't had any problems with the little boy, which is awesome, because now she can actually enjoy being at recess and she doesn't have to worry about this little kid. And, you know, of course, these little kids try messing with her because she's so tiny. And if I were to tell her, you know, if somebody hits you, hit them back, she'd be in trouble all day, because she would take that as a personal, you know, okay card to go beat up everybody that says something she doesn't like. And I don't want that. So I tell her, you know, you're not supposed to hit people, you know, the normal good parent thing. And she doesn't like it, but you know what? It keeps her out of trouble, and it keeps me from having to put on pants to go up to the school to get her out of trouble because she's, you know, hitting people. And I don't want her to grow up thinking that's how she solves her problems. So I just tell her she can't hit people. And then, like last year, she had a problem with the little boy from upstairs, and he cried like a big baby. And he's, I'm not hitting her. She was just playing with me. I'm like, she didn't seem like she was playing. So this year is this little fourth grader, and it seems to have resolved itself now, so she can actually enjoy being at recess with her little friends and doing stuff. And her reading is going very, very well. She was reading to me this weekend while we were playing Barbies. I would make her read stuff to me because I would tell her I can't read. Again, tricking her into thinking that I can't read was like the best idea ever. She literally thinks I can't read, which sometimes I question my own reading skills. So I guess that's not 100% inaccurate. I'm really liking how this flower is turning out. Now, I haven't used these Prisma mark or color pencils yet. These were a gift from a very generous subscriber who chooses to remain anonymous. But of course, she knows who she is. So thank you again for these, because you know this is probably this is the first time on camera that I've actually used them. I haven't used them off camera, or I haven't used them on camera yet, and they actually aren't too bad. Usually, I'm not the biggest Prisma fan, but I don't get a lot of practice with them. Like, I have the Prisma markers that I have to show still, and I'm still trying to figure out how to use those things. Like, I'm learning with my coloring that every medium is a different learning experience. And I actually became a member of a Colorful Bliss, I think is her name, with Jennifer and Steve Stay. And the other day, me and Becky were in there in her live, and she was talking about this new colorway book that her and her husband came up with. And of course, I was just like all on top of that. So I was like, yes, please. So I ordered her little colorway book, and it's supposed to help you choose colors and help you learn color theory and stuff like that. And so I ordered that and became it's kind of like a Patreon to her channel, because, you know, why not? Plus, I love when Patreons have like the extra little perks. So you get like extra special content and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to move my Patreon subscriptions around a little bit, because I think I have too many at this point. I'm going to move them around where I can essentially, see, that's the lighter one. Yeah. Where I can essentially, have maybe 4 or 5 instead of 10 to 12. Not that I don't like supporting people's channels. It's just sometimes I'm like, I'll get charged for it, and I'm like, why am I still doing that? You know, why am I still being charged for this when you know, there's nothing special about this, whatever. So yeah. So that was Friday, and then Saturday I spent majority of the day the morning crocheting. I was trying to work up that little mug cozy for Mindful Monday. Now, when I do Mindful Monday from now on, I won't be doing like a pattern like that. I'm also learning how to adjust the camera angles, because the camera angles on that video weren't the best. So essentially you just saw my hands going at hyper speed, and you really didn't get to see, like, you saw it coming together, but you didn't really get to see me actually working on it. So I'm working on a better camera angle for crocheting. So before I do crocheting again, which I do plan on doing because it was a lot of fun, I will make sure to figure out different camera angle so that you guys can literally see the whole thing come to life, because that is the best thing about Mindful Mondays. You're literally watching something come to life. So I will make sure to, you know, work on that and do some more practicing with that. my time is spread so thin nowadays because, you know, uploading every day. And I love uploading every day. I love, you know, working on stuff for the channel and then having like, I bulk record maybe 1 or 2 days a week. And then the rest of the week I spend either editing, because I tried doing it in one day. It was just too mentally exhausting. So I will bulk record on one day, and then like the next day I'll do nothing but editing, and then the rest of the week I get to just sit back and relax and answer comments, which is how I get to your guys' comments so quickly. But I'm actually doing pretty good with not stressing myself out over everything. And the only thing I'm stressed out about right now is like the fact that I'm about to hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm not sure why I'm stressed out about it, but I am. I've never really been good at anything before, and this is the first time I feel like I'm actually good at something. My gift of gab is actually a gift and not a curse. Like for the longest time, I thought something was wrong with me because I'm like, why is it that I always want to be talking all the time? Just talk, 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 talk. And apparently, you know, according to my friends, the couple that I talked to about this, because I felt stupid even mentioning it, because I'm like, who's scared of doing good? Like, that's not a thing. But then as I go on and I realize, you know, it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing to be fearful of, you know, doing good. And I spent my whole childhood wishing I was other people and, you know, that I could do special things like Mr. Coffee. I always wished that I was able to draw. One of my biggest things was I want to know how to draw. And I'm not I suck at drawing. I can't draw a straight line. I can barely draw a bath. So like I always wanted to draw. I can't draw. Can't draw to save my life. But Mr. Coffee can draw. But he has to feel inspired. And he will randomly draw things, but for the most part, he doesn't just sit down and draw like he used to when we first met. I think it's just primarily because of time, and he would much rather be spending his time like playing a video game or something. Like whatever it is, that's his relaxed time. That's his craft. Because I do get people all the time that ask me, you know, does it bother me that Mr. Coffee plays video games? And I'm like, well, no. One, because then when I go live, he's not bothering me. He's over there in his own little world talking to his imaginary friends. And I call it imaginary friends because you hear him talking, but you have no clue who he's talking to. And a lot of times I'll just look at him and he'll be like, it's, you know, Jeep Girl, or it's this person. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I tend not to pay too much attention to him when he's playing his games. Just because if I were to ask him, like that's the time when I ask him, hey, can I order Chinese food? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, whenever a man's busy, it's mm-hmm. So he spent a good portion of his weekend in between walking the dogs and playing with the kids and doing the science experiment with Orion. Essentially, he spent a good portion of his weekend playing his game. His game had a new expansion just recently come out, so he's been completely enthralled with that, which I'm okay with because it kept him out of my way, kept the kids busy because the kids love to watch him play. And of course, Orion being just like his dad, he sees it and his eyes get all big and he's like wanting to see all the things. And so the kids were watching Mr. Coffee and I'm like, yeah, keep playing. As I'm vacuuming and dusting, and I cleaned this house so good this weekend. I was so proud of myself. Not only that, I also, on top of cleaning the entire house, I also got 10 rows done on the blanket that day. And I was just like, yes. Now, I literally, whenever I'm not recording, I am literally working on that blanket. Or at least I'm trying to. So that's why for right now, you guys will get a Wip and Chat with coloring and then a Wip and Chat with diamond painting. Because it's really the only time I allow myself to do it. And it gives me a break from the crocheting. Where I know I was asked to do another Crochet and Chat, and I will. But this week, we'll have to wait and see. We'll see if I do that later on this week, or if, you know, I stick to like the normal things, because that just gives me a break away from it, because it does get daunting to do all day, every day. So taking that little bit of a break to do a Wip and Chat and stuff is really, really nice. So I think our flower is done. What do you guys think? I think that looks pretty good. Gonna darken up some areas over here. So yeah, so Saturday was cleaning. Sunday was also cleaning. If you missed it, we did raise $154 in super chats on Friday. So kudos to all of you that were able to donate. Thank you to all those who donated directly to the charity, because I did get a couple of messages saying that they just donated to the charity, and that is perfectly fine. This coming weekend, which is October 18th, I will do this. That will be the last day I do for charity, because I'm participating this year in the color-a-thon. Now, the diamond paint, the DP-a-thon is this weekend, the 18th. The color-a-thon is the weekend after that. So the weekend of the 25th, I will be participating in the color-a-thon. They're essentially, my time is not changing for my live or anything, which is the biggest reason why I agreed to it, because I get to stay in my time slot for the same amount of time, but instead of diamond painting, I would color. And I was like, yes, please. So I was pretty excited about that. So I won't be doing a charity for that day. I will put a charity up on the community page, but I won't be doing a charity that day, just because I don't want the people, because I agreed to the color-a-thon before the idea came up to do the donations for the month of October. So yeah. Also, I will be taking and just doing some feathering here. I will be taking and rounding up those donations for when I do donate them. So because we raised $154, I will put it in the other $50 to make it an even $200. With the first one we did, I'll be rounding that up to make it an even $400. So again, thank you guys so very much for donating. I do greatly appreciate you guys, doing this with me. And it's always good to give back when you can. I mean, I understand if you can't, but it's always good to give back when you can, because you never know when you're going to be in a situation where those donations could help you. So thank you guys again for that. All right, so I think we're done with that flower. What do you guys think? I think that looks really good. All right, so let's go around her eye. So around her eye, or should we do her skin tone? I think we should do her skin tone. Now, because I have so many of these color pencils, this might be a little difficult because I've never done skin tone with these colors. So what color is this? Light peach. We're going to go light peach. And what I like to do when I'm doing skin tone. Okay, so quick little tutorial here. Seashell pink. Is it seashell? Yep, seashell pink. And peach beige. Beige. And let's do one more. We'll get like a deco peach maybe. We'll do those 3 colors for her skin tone. So hang on, let's sharpen. Now what I like to do is I like to start off with the lightest color when I'm doing skin tones and build up. Instead of going dark and trying to lighten up, I go light and then build up. You stack on those colors to give it that that layering effect, that effect essentially that, you took the time to actually put that color on there. So we're going to go, and this is light peach. So yeah, so the donation thing went great for Friday. So again, thank you. Saturday was our, do your own thing here at the house. We took the kids up to the playground up the street because for some reason, they thought it would be a great idea to put in a 10-foot slide at the end of summer. Now, they had all summer to do this, and it literally only took them 3 days to put it up. But they waited until the end of summer to decide to put up this slide. And I'm like, Great. Now you're going to have all these kids. And in the wintertime, we plan on going down there and sliding down into the snow because that's going to be epically fun. And of course, we take the kids up there. And I haven't been up there in the longest time. And there's a big soccer field up there. And the kids like to go up there and play soccer with their friends and kick the ball around and run around. It's a gigantic... I don't want to say it's the size of a football field, but it's a pretty decent size. It's the size of a normal soccer field, I guess. So, it's going to color in her neck and shoulder here. Oh, we got another flower down here. Now, again, if I don't get all this colored in the allotted amount of time, I will make sure to put up a picture at the end of it finished. I think it's a little too peach. So let's go with the beige. There we go. That's the good stuff. So yeah, we're just going to blend these two colors together. I think that looks a lot better. So we go up and take the kids to the slide, and they're all excited because we have the dogs with us, and the dogs will, every once in a while, we will allow them off leash to walk with us or to go up to the soccer field to go run around. The problem is the moment they see any kind of wild animal like a jackrabbit or a bunny, they try to take off. So it's always hard to try to wrangle them and the kids at the same time. So we don't go up there too often. Unless we also take them back to the trail back there. There's a dirt bike trail, and we will take them back there to go walk. And we did do that Saturday. Me and Mr. Coffee like to go take the kids back there so that they can run off the energy, let the dogs run off some energy while we talk. And we just talk about like household stuff. And he's been asking me how I've been holding up because he could tell something's been up with me. And it's not that something's been up with me. I'm just worried about the channel. My channel's doing actually pretty good. But I'm worried about keeping up with the channel because I don't ever want to slip and have my channel go downhill, so to say. So I'm trying to make sure I do the best I can with making sure like I have good content and that, you know, I essentially am giving you guys the best that I can give you, because I didn't come on YouTube to give you some half-assed video and then be like, yay, everybody subscribe to my channel because I have half-assed content. Like, I don't want to be one of those people. And believe me, they're out there. Also, just as a disclaimer, that's not really pointed, because you know nowadays everybody gets their ass chapped over everything. So you got to put the little disclaimer in. That's not really me taking jabs at anyone. That's just in general, folks. But yeah, so I just want to make sure I'm keeping up with giving good content. And I'm like, what if I run out of things to talk about, you know, eventually? And he just laughs at me and he's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. He goes, 10 years, you haven't stopped talking to me. And I'm like, that is true. Also, why you got to say it like that? Like, why do men have to say things in like the kind of like the meanest way? And it wasn't what he said. It was just how he said it. Like, you know, oh God, you haven't stopped talking to me. And I'm just like, and I know what he meant, but my brain was like, so we just going to go there? You just going to act like all I do is sit in here and talk to you all day? Yeah, so what if I just sit here and talk to you all day? I'm your wife. I'm supposed to talk to you all day. Either way. But he was reassuring me that I'll be fine. And I told him, you know, and I was talking to Rachel Ray and Spasmodic Arts about this too. You know, I worry because, you know, I don't know what I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do. And I've never really been good at anything before. So like, this is all new to me. I've never been popular before. I've never, you know, been good at anything. I've always wished that I was. And then go figure, I'd find YouTube, start a YouTube channel, and the thing that I thought was most annoying is what everybody loves. The fact that I just don't stop talking. guess it's a good thing. Rachel says I can talk people off a cliff, and I'm like, I don't know about all that. You know, I like to think I have, you know, I like to think that I have that gift of gab, but I don't know if I can talk somebody off a cliff. I probably could. My dad used to always tell me that I could sell ketchup popsicles to a lady wearing white gloves. So, you know, that's like the same thing, right? So, yeah, so it was a pretty easygoing weekend. Oh, the kids got a package in for my mother-in-law. It's always great when the grandparents send your kids stuff, isn't it? The good thing is his mom sent it's Mr. Coffee's mom, obviously. His mom sent the kids some Halloween decorations and stuff so that they can decorate the house. What she didn't realize was that these are Mr. Coffee's kids. So when they decorated the house, they were like those window clings. They took the window cling to the ceiling. So essentially we had the window clings, like they were just throwing it up at the ceiling. And so, you know, Mr. Coffee he was in the bathroom. He comes out of the bathroom and looked at the ceiling, and it looks like a bunch of bugs all over the ceiling. He's like, what happened here? And I'm like, your kids? Like, they were playing and they got stuff all over the ceiling? And he told them, you know, he had to go walk the dog. So he's like, you know, you guys better get those down before I come back because it's going to be bedtime soon. And he leaves to go walk the dogs, to which I then pick up the kids and put them on my shoulders and have them pick all the the things off the ceiling. Told them to go put it in their room because they were throwing them at each other. And I was like, I grabbed one of them because it came at me and I threw it up at the ceiling. They were just like, whoa. So essentially, I guess that can be blamed on me because I did kind of show them that they could do that. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to tell Mr. Coffee that either, so keep that to yourself. But yeah, so he wasn't the fondest of the fact that, you know, he's looking at me like, where did that even come from? And I'm like, your mom. His mom had told him she was sending a package. We just weren't sure when it was coming, even though she gave us a tracking number. I didn't check it. Probably should have, but I didn't. All right, so we got this color. So for her lips, we're going to go for these purpley pink colors. I think the other ones are good. Because Sugar Skull's, the skull itself, like the face mask is white, but the rest of it is like her skin tone and stuff should pop out. So we're going to put this, what is this? Deco pink. We're going to put that away. I don't need that. Let's work on her eyes. I did a thing a few months ago. We're going to do green eyes. So we're going to color in some of this. You ever really get into a project and you're in the middle of saying something, you just stop and then you go back to say something, you're like, what was I saying? Oh, the window clings. So yeah, so you know, by the time he got back, they were all gone. And he's like, now how in the world did they do that? Because, okay, so I did one of those things where I helped them get the window clings down. And then I sat back on the couch like I hadn't moved. And so he comes back in with the dogs like 10, 20 minutes later. And he's like, how did they get it down? I'm like, I don't know. You told them to get it down. They got it down. What's the problem? He goes, well, it's not a problem, but how did they get all the window clings down? And there was a lot of them, folks, okay? My back is still hurting because I had Orion and Maggie standing on my back trying to get these window clings. And then they just go in their rooms and put the window clings up on their ceilings. And sad part is, that was Saturday night. The window clings are still up there and he hasn't noticed. That shows you how much men pay attention to things, because I'm laughing because as I'm vacuuming, they're falling on me and I'm like literally just throwing them back up at the ceiling and I'm like, nope. I think I had 2 or 3 out of Maggie's room that just fell on me and I was like, nope. I just threw them back up there. Because it's better for them to be up there than to have the kids have them. Like, I'm shocked that Maggie hasn't tried to eat one yet because she thinks anything gummy is food. We're trying to get her out of that. That's like, do you ever have to when you tell your kids to do something, do you ever have to give them a disclaimer? Like, when Maggie gets out of the shower, she has to have a disclaimer about lotioning herself. Because again, you know, you got to lotion after you get out of the tub so that, you know, that went a little out. I give Maggie the disclaimer because a couple of months ago, Maggie goes to get in the shower, okay? Maggie goes to get in the shower, and... Hold on a second, that still isn't on. I guess I went a little heavy there. Maggie goes to get out of the shower, and she said she could lotion herself because she's trying to be a big girl and do things on her own. So I was like, all right, cool. She'll lotion herself, which frees me up to go make sure Orion's, you know, in the shower doing what he's supposed to be doing. So I'm sitting there, and I'm not out. I'm in the bathroom for like, I don't know, just a few minutes. Not very long. I go check on Maggie because she had gotten quiet. And anybody who has children knows the moment they get quiet, you check because they're probably doing something that they shouldn't be doing. So I go check. And here she is in the little bit of time that it took me to go check on her brother. Maggie, we're going to give her some funky like makeup here. Maggie has essentially, we're going to make her eyes match her lips. Maggie had taken the lotion, got out as much as she possibly could, and essentially rubbed it all over her face and torso. And I walk in there, and she was trying to rub it in her hair just to get rid of it. And then I seen her eat some of it. Now, when I seen her eat it, I, of course, freaked out because, oh my God, my daughter just ate lotion. Do I need to call poison control? What do I need to do? She just freaking ate lotion. To which I think I was on the phone with my dad, and he starts laughing, and he's just like, she gets it honestly. And I'm like, I'm sorry, say what? I've never eaten lotion. He goes, nope, wasn't you. Apparently my dad used to eat lotion when he was a baby. So now Maggie was eating the lotion. So now that she's a little bit older and I trying to trust her, keyword, trying to trust her to lotion herself. You know, I have to give her the rules. I'm like, what are the rules? And as I'm brushing her hair, I'm like, what are the rules to lotioning yourself? And she goes, make sure you get your face, head, neck, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and don't eat the lotion. I know. She goes, but mommy, it was good. Don't eat the lotion. And Ryan's like, who's eating lotion? I'm like, your sister's trying to eat lotion. And he's like, Maggie, that's gross. We don't eat lotion. She goes, I know. You guys, she was so upset because I made her stop eating the lotion. Like, you would have thought that I took her, like, favorite snack away or something. Oh, I dropped the pencil. So, yeah, they had fun with the window clings, and it's funny because I wanted to go wake them up this morning, which today is Monday. When I went to go wake them up this morning, Maggie had a window cling stuck to her hair because it fell off the ceiling, and because she had her fan on, I'm wondering how hard the fan whipped it at her because it was in there pretty good. Now I'm going to guess that because she had been rolling around on it all night, that was the reason why it was stuck so good to her hair. I just thought it was hilarious. All right, so now I need... That's a brown. Need more of a dark gray for her eyelashes. I don't want to go black. Oh, something else I did. I think in my last Wip and Chat, I was talking about those air fresheners you hear where randomly whenever I'm doing a Wip and Chat, you'll hear ka-ch. I actually went to go refill those last week. I actually have refills on my air fresheners again. So now my house smells good once again, and that's too hard. with Prismacolors, you don't want to color really hard. Like, you got to color lightly with them because they are very pigmented. So yeah, so it was a pretty cool weekend. Chilled out. Worked a lot on my blanket. A lot on my blanket. So I got I didn't get 10 rows done on Saturday, which kind of upset me, but it was my own fault because I was procrastinating getting to work on it. Because frankly, I don't want to. I just want to color and diamond paint. And I can't wait to be done with that blanket because the moment I'm done with it, oh, we're going hardcore into some diamond painting, you guys. I'm not even joking. I miss my diamond painting so much. And I could have had Melinda and Moohoo done by now, but no. I have to work on a commission blanket, which is probably the last commission I'll take because I didn't realize how taxing it would be to do during, like, while I have my channel. It's already hard enough to try to keep up with, you know, making videos and getting them uploaded and everything else, but then to have to worry about like working on that blanket solely whenever I'm not recording, it's getting to be too much. So like I need to hurry up and finish it so I can get back to diamond painting and coloring and all the crafty goodness. I'll probably do like small commission pieces after this, but I won't go big anymore. Like that's essentially going to be like a queen size blanket, which for those wondering how big it is, it's about the size of a queen size blanket. So that's why it's taken me so long to complete. Those lips look awful. So we're going to try that again. The good thing about color pencil is that you can erase most of it. Can't erase marker. You have the colorless blender, which will pull up some of the color, but not all of it. But I guess erasing it doesn't pull up it all either. But I'd rather erase than use the colorless blender. Let's try these lips again. So yeah, so what else fun stuff happened this weekend? I did get to make it into a couple of lives. I feel bad because, for you guys who don't know, Patriotic Beauty goes live on Monday mornings. And I try to make it into her lives, but this morning I didn't make it in because right when I realized that she was live, which is when my phone told me. Is anybody else getting YouTube notifications like super late? Because like I got a notification that she was live after her live ended. Like right as she was saying bye to everybody, her live had ended, and I got the notification that she was live. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So I missed her live this morning, which, you know, these things happen, but I don't like missing. There's certain lives I don't like to miss, and her live helps start my week, so I'll have to go back and watch the replay. I'm not usually a replay person, but I'll have to go back and watch the replay of hers. Just because that's I think that's one of the first lives of hers that I've actually missed. So like, I don't know. I feel like part of my day has been ruined because I didn't make it to her live. Daisy's over here with the huffing and puffing because she's just tired of life. Is that any better? I don't know if that's any better. I'm learning not to be so critical of myself. I'm like, you're not a colorist yet. Like you're in training. You're a colorist in training. You are not a professional. Not everything you do is going to come out like amazing. You know what? We're going to blend it together with this color. Kind of lighten it up a little bit. And these pencil leads are a little bit softer than, say, like my Arteza and stuff. So I'm trying not to go too hardcore with it, but I just can't get these lips right. I know you're not used to all these other sounds whenever I do a whip and chat, but lips and skin are some of the hardest things to do, I'm learning. That and try not to color too hard because I don't want to burnish it. So yeah, so it was a pretty good weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend. What was your best part? What was the best part of your weekend? Write that down in the comments. Do you have, like, do you make special plans on the weekends and stuff? I'm learning that we are going to start making plans here soon. Like when it gets warmer outside next year, every weekend we're going to try to plan to take the kids to see something new. Because this summer was just hectic. And so next summer, we're hoping to have more of an itinerary of things to do. So hopefully we won't be home the entire summer. Like, we weren't home the entire summer this year because obviously we went to Pennsylvania and the kids loved flying. And but I would like to be able to take the kids out more. Like, I need to get a little bit more adventurous without Mr. Coffee, because the thing is, I'm scared to leave the house without him because the last time I did, I ended up in Montana. Yeah, that happened. So I tend not to leave the house without him. We're just going to put a little bit of shadowing here on her lips. Real light go through here. That, and I don't want to work the paper too much because I'm going to end up putting a hole in it if I don't stop messing with these lips. It's okay if they're not perfect. Still fun to work on it. All right. So I think we got about 7 minutes or so left. I'm trying to make my whip and chats an hour now. So essentially you guys get a 2-hour whip and chat. So I don't think that's bad. What color should we do her hair? Let's try something different, because usually I always do like the blonde. So maybe this time I'll do like a red. So I think we're going to do chestnut, Crimson Lake, and Crimson Red. Roll Tide. For some reason, I feel like I have to show you guys these so you know I'm not lying to you. Just go with it. But yes, the 5,000 subscriber giveaway announcement should be made soon. I don't know what I'm at yet, but I know I'm close. Matter of fact, I think I'm like less than 50 away. So as soon as that happens, I'll let you guys know. And I will announce, you know, how to enter and all that fun stuff. And I thought about making a Patreon after I hit 5,000, but I don't think I'm going to do that. The influencer page, my Arteza affiliateship and everything, I think that's enough. Like, I started all that just so I can get some extra money to put back into the channel. And I do pretty decent, so I think I'm going to just stick with that for right now. And maybe later on down the road I'll do a Patreon page, but right now I don't feel like I need one. So just coloring in some of these dark areas here. So yeah, so I did. Oh, thank you guys for all the recipe ideas you guys gave us. I'm gonna attempt to make some homemade chicken noodle soup. And there's one other recipe that somebody said. I want to say it was like chicken and dumplings. Never made chicken and dumplings before. I don't even think I like chicken and dumplings. But we're going to find out because I'm going to make some. And A lot of people said beef stew, and I'm like, oh God, not beef stew. When I was growing up, our staples in our house were chicken. Anything with, my parents could make anything with chicken. They were like Bubba from Forrest Gump. Chicken and rice, chicken salad. Like, my parents would make everything with freaking chicken. So when I grew up, I was like, I'm never eating chicken again. We eat a lot of chicken. But now I'm like, if somebody said beef stew, I was just like, oh, not beef stew. Because when it wasn't chicken, beef stew. Or hamburger helper, which I still love hamburger helper. But I'm just like, oh gosh, beef stew. That takes me back. My parents used to make beef stew and chili whenever it was cold outside. Never liked beef stew. But now all I want is beef stew. So I'm going to have to try that too. So I sent Mr. Coffee to work today with a shopping list. And we'll see how that goes. Will Miss Coffee be returning to upload more videos later this week because she hasn't burnt her house down trying to make all these delicious recipes? Find out later this week. But I think that's it for me today, folks. Again, I will finish her and I will put up a picture on my Instagram and my Facebook group, Crafters Anonymous with Miss Crochet and Coffee and Rachel Ray. And I will also put up one at the end of the video. Hopefully, if I'm done by then. If not, just look on the community tab and I'll have a picture of her done whenever I get the chance to finish her. But thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble on about absolutely nothing. I do greatly appreciate it. If you got to this point in the video, please give the video a thumbs up and put smile in the comment section down below, just because it lets me know whether or not I should continue doing this or if I should change it up and do something else. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more of this random and crazy stuff, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. With that said, I'm going to bid you adieu. But not before I remind you, like I always try to. Be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys.